is real, the work you're doing, it is real that you're writing this report or I am recording this video, it is me who is doing this. But it doesn't feel like hard work. So that is when it comes this work smart and not hard, because it doesn't feel in my inside so hard recording this video. I don't have that much resistance. Today we are gonna talk about what is flow state and how we can achieve it, and what does actually really mean being in flow or flow state, deep focus, being in the zone, all these kind of similar sentences. What does it really mean? Actually, for me, it's something that I fortunately experience very, very often, and it helps me do my work or do any tasks, perform any activity with much more ease. I'm doing something, but it doesn't feel like I'm putting so much effort in it. So that's the key point. Like when you are in the flow while doing an activity, it doesn't feel like you are putting a lot of effort. So that is the key thing that everyone wants to achieve. Being in the flow is normally associated with creative or artistic activities, but actually it could be with any activity. We can associate it with any activity. Even routine or mundane tasks can be performed in the flow, and also any technical, logical, analytical tasks. I am sure of that because I'm an engineer, but I'm also a pianist. So I can have a sense of what it is to be creative and what it is to be an analytical person. Depending on the day or on the part of the day, I am one facet or the other. And I experience flow in both of them, in my engineering life, while also in my artistic or creative life. So for example, right now, while recording this video, I'm gonna just come back to myself, I'm feeling like I'm quite in the flow. I mean, I tried not to script this video so much because I tend to script a bit more than I think I should. So let's see how it goes. I am trying to be much more in tune, much more connected to myself. It may look effortless to you, but it's actually a skill to practice. You normally require maybe 10 minutes. Some people may require 5, depending on, but I would say 10 to 15 minutes to then start working in the flow. So maybe you find a little bit of resistance. So when I start putting the camera, I may find a little bit of resistance in the way I'm talking, or I may find myself a bit struggling while talking or struggling to put the point across. So this is kind of the very, very first minutes of resistance, of self-doubt. But the flow state, when you reach there is no thinking. Your mind kind of stops, the self-doubt fades away, and it's more like the experience, you become one, and then you are just doing. You are just being in the flow, in the moment. You are really in the experience. You are like pouring yourself to this activity. I've been practicing mindfulness or meditation for several years, and it kind of helps you a lot with being in the flow in different activities, because you know how to come back to your body, you know how to listen to your body and connect with yourself in the present, so you can perform more efficiently in a shorter amount of time, because you get in your flow state easier as you've been training your brain through meditation and mindfulness. You can practice kind of this mindful living or meditation practices not only while meditating. So being in the flow while doing, I don't know, a report, while writing a book, while dancing, it's really associated with artistic activities. It's actually a form of meditation, because meditation requires you to be connected and fully in the present. Not in your mind, in the present. You see a singer or you see a dancer and you think, wow, it really projects, like I feel it. I feel the connection, they did it amazingly well, because they were in the zone. If you normally ask them, what were you thinking while you were dancing? They would normally say to you, wasn't thinking. So this is the key point to realize you were in the flow, because when you're just being present, enjoying your experience, obviously you've been practicing this a lot, but you are like fully authentically present. It comes across, like it projects to the audience, to the people, and you can feel like a good performer or a good singer based on that. So it's really associated with creative and artistic activities because being in the flow means like being connected to yourself, but you can do it with anything. The key things to start achieving this flow state are practicing mindfulness and being more present in the moment. You can do it with any task. You mean, like, imagine doing your laundry. If you focus on being fully present with the activity itself, and also if you find it very boring, maybe increasing a bit the challenge to make you more engaged, because you need to be engaged with the activity. But also if you find it really difficult, maybe split it into parts to kind of address one part or a smaller challenge at a time to feel more engaged. Because as we all know, to become one with the experience and to actually being present with something without worrying too much or without being bored or apathetic easily, we need to have a quite of a challenge, but not too much of a challenge. So actually being in the zone or being in the flow means you have some challenge, so you are engaged, you are stimulated by the activity itself, but also it's not too much of a challenge that you start having so much self-doubt, so much worry, because it's far more difficult to achieve this flow state in 10 minutes or whatever I said, if the task is unmanageable or super outside of your intellectual or outside of your skills. This flow state is quite misunderstood. Sometimes people misunderstand this for like fixation on one activity and doing it like losing track of what's going on outside and things like that. Like, this is different. This is hyperfocus, and hyperfocus is not good for your well-being. It's more like you are totally disconnected. Instead of connected with your present, you are totally disconnected for something external that gives you these rewards. In this flow state, you are actually really connected to yourself. You are really connected, so it's the opposite. And you get more intrinsic motivation because you are doing the task, feeling really present, at peace with yourself, and this is intrinsic motivation at the end of the day, because these are like feelings that you gain while being in the flow. So it's not that you are with your video game 6 hours in a row, super fixated, and you think, whoa, I am with the flow. No. The flow is when you are connected, not when you are fully disconnected and just relying on external rewards for motivation. Another key difference is that it's not really fixated in one activity that you are fixated on, like external. It's fixated inside, in your intrinsic motivation, in your feelings, in your state of being, in your peace of mind, and you can be in the flow doing multitude or endless activities. Being in the flow is a moment in itself that brings you peace, calm, happiness, joy. So when you're truly yourself, fully authentic and truly connected to yourself, you are experiencing one of your happiest moments. So why wouldn't you like doing these tasks? So this is kind of related to romanticize the word, romanticize the process, because, or find joy in the process, because actually if you rely on the discrete moment after you finalize the book and you release it and you rely on this for your happiness, you're not gonna have a really happy or fulfilled life. You're gonna have discrete moments of happiness in your life, and this is definitely not what I want. I would like to truly romanticize the process of writing a book and being in the flow while writing a book, enjoying how I write, how I express, how I like pour myself into those pages and these lines, and obviously eventually having this book written and published and everything. But if I don't enjoy the process a little bit, doesn't make up for me. Let me know in the comments if you liked this video. I hope it was useful, and this is really related to a previous video that I talked about happiness, and how happiness, it is not the outcome, how happiness cannot rely on discrete moments in time. I really wish you allow yourself to be happy now.